G'day, I'm Tim Thompson. Welcome to the Midweek Review. Now, the De-Barber is a particularly useful little gadget when you're running out barbed wire like I am today and you don't want to fiddle around with all of the barbs and gloves at the end of the run while you're trying to tie off to a post. It actually removes the barbs for you so that you've got a tail that's free of barb and easy to work with. The first two versions of the De-Barber work particularly well with smaller gauge barbed wire and Iowa barb, but they tended to struggle a little bit with the heavier gauge barbs, and sometimes they jammed while taking the barbs off. So Wireman have listened to the feedback and they've come back with a redesigned De-Barber that's larger and has a different shaped cam, and this new design aims to make working with heavier gauge barbed wire a lot simpler and easier than it has been in the past. And hey, if you watch this video to the end, there'll be details on how you can enter the draw to get a set of these fantastic fence stirrups to make climbing over your barbed wire fences all that more comfortable. So let's get into it. Let's run some barb out and see how the new design performs. Taking the barbs off is going to make this a lot easier to tie off as a termination knot, and it will become like tying off plain wire with any luck. So let's see how easy this thing is to use on 2.5mm high tensile barb for a termination knot. As with prior versions of the De-Barber, you've got to line up the two slots and insert your barb into the groove. Now you'll notice that it's a bit tight in here, and occasionally if the barbs are bent out you'll need to straighten them a bit with a pair of pliers to get it to work. Once you've got your barb down in the grooves, start twisting. Now just twist with the right hand side, which is this little bit here. The main body stays still in your hand. Now with this barb, it didn't completely take it off cleanly, but it's made it loose enough so that it's an easy job to pull apart with my pliers. Now I'm using up old rolls, so I run out mid-run, so let's use the De-Barber to clean up a couple of barbs on the end so we can get a nice neat figure 8 knot happening to join our two rolls of barb to complete the job. So this time I'm making two changes. The first is I've ditched the larger pliers and I'm using a smaller pair that's more nimble to pull these barbs straight so that I can fit the De-Barber on and unwind the barb off the wire. If I don't do that, because these barbs are so large, they just won't fit in the slot. Now that I've got my barbs nice and straight, I can then slot on the De-Barber, get it down nice and tight, and start unwinding. Now I start unwinding the end that's not wound through the wires. It's very important to unwind the correct end of the barb when you're working with this high tensile stuff that's been wound through the plaited wires. Now we're just about there. We've got our barbs where we want them. They're nice and loose. So I undo about half a turn, there we go, and it comes straight off. If you ever do a mid-run join while running out barbed wire, you'll appreciate not having to work over the top of barbs doing your figure 8 knot. At the other end, it was a real advantage to use the Wireman strainers with their extra long chain to strain up to the post. I then removed the last 4 barbs and once again tied up the end knot without having to wear gloves and without having to get pricked by barbed wire. So there we go, the Wireman De-Barber. Well, for its price, it increases the ability to do a figure 8 knot midstream in a barbed wire fence, and it makes tying off under tension and not under tension all that easier when you don't have to work your way around barbs and you don't have to wear gloves. For a few bucks, probably worth throwing in the kit, I reckon. Alright, so the details of our giveaway for the fence stirrups designed by Steve Larson. All you have to do is go onto my website and sign up using the button provided. Anyone who signs up to my website before midnight on the 29th of April automatically goes into the draw to win themselves a pair of these fantastic fence stirrups. I'll be drawing one winner at random from everyone who signs up, and I'll be notifying you in an upcoming video.